Hello, and welcome to the Killer Cuties podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Cassidy, and I've seen almost every horror movie out there.
And I'm KD, and I've seen almost none of them.
So join us each week as I attempt to make a horror fan out of Katie.
As a warning, we will be discussing spoilers and some uncomfortable topics that may be in the plots, so feel free to check out the film on doesthedogdie.com first to check for any triggers before listening.
Today we're going to be talking about the Ridley Scott sci-fi classic, Alien. Let's get spooky.
All right, I'll kick us off with a summary. So, the Nostromo is a spaceship heading back to Earth with its crew members Dallas, Kane, Ripley, Lambert, Ash, Parker, and Brett. However, their system wakes them up early due to a distress signal it detected. As Dallas, Kane, and Lambert investigate the moon that the distress signal came from, Ripley deciphers the signal as a warning. However, she's unable to inform them of this since they've lost contact signal. While investigating, Kane is attacked by a creature that attaches itself to him, and when Dallas and Lambert attempt to bring him back to the ship, Ripley denies them entry due to quarantine protocol. However, Ash overrides her and lets them in anyways. Once inside, we get the iconic chest burster scene where the alien rips through Kane, killing him and escaping into the ship. While the crew attempts to hunt down the alien, Dallas and Brett are both killed by it. Ash is also revealed to be an android whose mission is to ensure that the creature survives even if the crew doesn't. Ripley and Parker are able to disable Ash's power and incinerate him. The remaining crew realizes that their only option is to escape in the small shuttle of the ship. However, Parker and Lambert are killed while gathering supplies. Ripley initiates the ship's self-destruct and narrowly makes it onto the shuttle. The alien made it onto the shuttle as well, though, and Ripley and it have a final standoff where Ripley gets the upper hand and blasts the alien into space. Ripley then puts herself into stasis with the ship's cat for her final journey back to Earth.
That's true. I think the main character of this movie is actually Jones the cat.
Jones the cat.
Jones the
I
cat.
couldn't agree more. Mhm.
I mean, without giving away too much, he is in the sequels. So
He is?
Jones the cat does not make a one-time appearance. He comes
Oh my
back.
gosh. Aren't the sequels like 10 years apart?
Well, he's in stasis. He's like frozen, basically. He's in
You don't
cryo
age?
sleep. No.
Oh, cryo sleep. See, I'm
Yeah.
familiar with that term from Avatar.
Yeah. Okay. Again, with the Avatar. So yeah, I think the sequel takes place like I want to say 57 years after this one, and
Gosh.
yeah, they're both just vibing.
Okay, well, two things. One, I'm
Mhm.
offended that you were surprised that I was going to talk about Avatar because hello, Sigourney Weaver and space. And two, while I was reading the summary, something clicked in my brain that Ash is the one that overrides the protocol, the quarantine protocol, to let the alien into the ship.
Oh, yes, because he's an android. He's not
Yep.
his whole point was to get the life form and bring it back. So,
Yeah, that did not register until I literally almost had to stop myself while I was reading that and be like, wait a minute, I get it now.
yeah, so he overrides it. He lets the alien in. He's the one that tells them not to kill it when it first bursts out of the chest. He's the one that convinces Dallas to let them like capture it and not kill it. Like, so yeah,
Mhm.
Ash was a little shisty though.
Yeah. Yeah. Sus in hindsight.
Yeah, yeah. At first, you're just kind of like, I hate this dude. Then you're like, oh, not a dude.
Yeah. Still hate him though.
Yeah, it's hard to hate something that's just like programmed to be that way, though, right? Like, it's like,
Well,
I hate like the company that programmed him to do that.
yeah,
That's pretty
okay.
fucked up.
Well, was it our moon? I thought it was our moon.
No, no.
Oh, okay.
I
It was
think
a moon.
so yeah, they mention Lambert mentions like a some space thing, I don't know,
A
in the
galaxy or
movie.
something?
Yes, but that basically is a landmark. I think it's like I wanna say it was like 36 light years away from Earth or something like that. So, like, they were nowhere near Earth when this happened. 'Cause they were coming back, and that's why the
That's
ship, like,
right.
woke them up early. Because they were like, "Where's Earth? Like, we're supposed to be home," and they were
Mhm.
not.
Yes. Yeah, and they're like 10 months away or something.
Yeah. They were still
Forgot about
supposed
that.
to be asleep, but obviously the company had to wake them up so that they could get the aliens, so that they could, like, study it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Um,
Yikes.
yeah. One of the okay, so, like, every time I watch a movie, I just read everything about it, and there's a lot about this movie. I mean, this is a classic film. There's a ton of information if anybody ever wants to, like, go read about this movie. But
Yeah.
I was reading about how, like, the writers there were a few things that they struggled with because they wanted to make sure that, like, it was a consistent story and everything made sense about, like, why the characters were doing certain things. And
Mhm.
so, one of the things that they were, like, kinda struggling with is, like, why doesn't this crew just, like, shoot the alien dead? Like, and that's where they come up with the aliens bleeding acid because they didn't want it to corrode the ship, which is
Yep.
fine and great, but I when I read that, I was like, "Why the fuck would an astronaut even have a fucking gun?" Like, that doesn't make sense to
True.
me. I looked it up. Apparently, a lot of Russian astronauts keep guns on them because because when they're re-entering Earth, if they get like, if they land somewhere too remote and it takes too long to get there,
Oh.
there could be, like, bears and shit because it's Russia. So, like,
Yeah.
it's more for their protection once they get back to Earth, but still, I was like, "What if someone, like, loses their mind up there? Just gotta go I don't know, you know?"
Yikes.
Although I
Yeah.
feel like that doesn't really happen. I feel like that's more of, like, a movie thing.
Yeah, I mean, there's some pretty strenuous psychological evaluation, I think, that goes into being any kind of astronaut or
Yeah, I feel like they
in
have to
space
do
person.
a lot of precautions to make sure that, like, the mental health is well when you're that isolated for that long. But
Seriously. Yeah. Yep.
I mean, this takes place in the future. So maybe by then, everyone will just have guns in space.
Everyone will just be in space, honestly.
Mm,
Um, speaking of which, we're not that far from when the movie was set. Only like 11 more years, right?
no.
It's
Like
like
100
2034 or something.
years.
Oh,
2034. Wait, what?
that's what I thought.
I think so I looked it up and it, they've said in canon that it takes place in 2122.
Oh, 100 years from now.
That's what I looked up because apparently, like, there's not a date listed in this movie, but that in the next movie, Aliens, which takes place 57 years later, there is a date, and so if you
Okay.
remove 57 years, apparently it's supposed to be 2122.
Okay. I think Mother had a number after her like model or something that was like
Oh,
2034. So I think that's why I assumed that.
okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly didn't pay that much attention. There could have been a date, and I'm just wrong, but I looked it up because I was curious. And
Yeah. Well.
that's what I found on the line. So I went with that, but I don't know.
um. Yeah. No, I was like honestly enthralled with this movie. I could not stop watching it.
I knew that you would like this one.
Yeah. Of course you fucking did.
Well, okay, first of all.
I mean. um. But no, I literally could not stop watching it. And I had to look up when Star Wars came out because it had a lot of Star Wars vibes. You've never seen Star Wars, have you?
I have not well, I've seen one of the wars, but it was not I've been told it was, like, one of the worst ones, so I
Okay.
won't I won't form an opinion on Star Wars based on Solo, which is the movie I saw.
Yeah, you've never seen Star Wars. Okay. So now that we have that established, it definitely felt like Star Wars vibes, just like the you can tell that the ships were like models on camera. You can tell that in the early Star Wars movies and um just like even like the way that like the camera moves down the corridors and even some of the way that like the alien is the practical effects are crafted feel very like Star Warsy. Um
I mean,
fun.
it's kind of funny that you mentioned that because Star Wars is almost the reason that this movie even got made.
I believe
because
it.
studios were passing on it left and right, and then Star Wars came out and was a huge hit, and everyone was just like, "Let's get some fucking space movies going. Let's
Space
go."
movies. Yep. Aliens, that's part of the formula.
Aliens, cold weather, all men, animal dies.
Mhm.
I think that was the only other one that
Wait,
we
was the
had.
animal die?
Well, we had to include that one because I think Lion King was in the top, and we were
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"That doesn't fit." So, there's that caveat of
Animal dies. Yes, okay. That's a sub requirement, a sub
yeah,
requirement.
it's the exception to the rule.
Yeah. Shit, I can't wait to talk about Megan.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
We did recently watch Megan, so we're gonna do an episode on that in
yeah,
a bit.
it follows the formula
It
of
does.
great movies. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, no. I honestly, I was very impressed.
Yeah. I think that, uh I think that the writing, like, they did a lot of work to make sure that, like, it made sense, and I can appreciate that. Like,
Mhm.
figuring out, why they're not just gonna kill it because the blood could do this, or another thing they struggled with was like how to even get the alien on the ship in the first place. And once the idea of the face hugger chest bursting happened, something I kind of find funny is that the writers were very adamant that the first victim was a man, was one of the male
Oh, okay.
characters. And the reason for that was because the nature of the first attack kind of invokes the feeling of impregnation, especially non-consensual impregnation, and they didn't feel it was appropriate for a woman to be a victim of that.
Oh,
And they kind of wanted to, like, do a role reversal of typical horror at that time where women were seen as first targets, easy first targets, and they wanted men to be, like, really uncomfortable with this idea of this kind of, like, gender convention reversal, and I
ooh.
kind of like that.
Well, I can definitely appreciate that, but I mean, there was an alien R word scene like 20 minutes later.
Excuse me?
It was heavily implied that the alien impaled
Oh.
Lambert from
Yeah, that is a
space.
common theory that that's what happened to her.
Okay.
Technically, in, like, the director's cut or something, I believe that they did explain what was gonna happen to her, and she was just supposed to be, like, shoved in a locker, and that's how she died. Um, so I don't think that was necessarily the intention, but boy, did it come off that way.
Yes, it sure did.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Uh,
Yeah. But I do like
on
it.
that note, oh
Oh,
no, you go
no,
first.
you
No.
please.
On that note,
Mhm.
I don't know if I would rather have all of my alien knowledge come from where it came from and then watch the movie, or if I would rather have watched the movie and then found out about where all of my alien knowledge came from.
That's so
Do you know what I'm
vague.
saying?
I know what you're saying. I don't think other people are gonna know what you're saying.
Okay, well,
Well, hold
my
on. Earmuffs moms who
okay,
are listening real quick.
yeah. Yeah, mom, turn it off now. Um, porn. Yeah, my all of my alien knowledge comes from pornography.
I don't know if I'd call that knowledge. I think maybe
I knew that there was going to be face huggers. I knew that there was going to be tails going in places they shouldn't go into.
okay. So you're like knowledge about this movie in particular?
Yes,
Got it.
the movie
Okay.
Alien.
You've seen a
Yes.
lot of parodies?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
enough. I wouldn't say well,
You don't have to give a
Okay.
number.
Yeah. I'm just gonna quit while I'm ahead.
Yeah, I love how open you are about this, though. I think that that's
Thanks.
it's beautiful. Uh,
Mhm. Hey, people need to feel validated by their tentacle obsession. And by obsessions,
that's
I mean kinks.
true. We are definitely not king shaming anybody.
Nope.
That's something that won't happen here.
No. We celebrate only.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway.
Anyways, what other fun facts do we have?
Oh, who is the actor that plays Kane?
John Hurt.
John Hurt. I fucking love John Hurt.
Yep.
He's in
Yeah.
Harry Potter. He's in Indiana Jones. He's in Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, which is the worst movie of all time.
Okay.
But love him.
Yeah, I think he did great. He actually almost wasn't in it. He was the first choice, but then
Yeah.
he had other commitments to another movie that was filming in South Africa. But then
Mhm.
the guy that they cast instead, I want to say he was
He-
diagnosed with like diabetes, and
Diabetes.
he had to step out, and so by the time that time the South Africa project had fallen through, and Ridley Scott was like, "Let's go, John Hurt. You're being in my movie."
Oh. Yep. Yeah, no, I love him. I really love him. And I had no idea that he is the subject of the like iconic chest burster
Yeah,
scene. Chest burster scene.
you nailed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he actually recreates it again as like a parody in Spaceballs. It's like the
Well,
exact same scene, and he just goes, "Oh no, not again."
I haven't seen Spaceballs in so long.
Yeah, you can
Um,
rewatch it now that you've seen what it's parodying.
yeah. Uh,
But another
funny.
casting thing was that Meryl Streep. It was like between her and Sigourney Weaver for Ripley. And
Oh.
yeah, Ripley just like really impressed people. And also at that time, Meryl Streep was still mourning the loss of her husband at the time. And so
Yeah.
it was like just a really bad time for her and a really good time for Sigourney Weaver. So
Yeah.
she got cast. And then uh Veronica Cartwright, who plays Lambert in the movie,
Mhm.
she auditioned for Ripley and thought that she got cast as Ripley.
Oh
Like they
no.
were not clear about what part she won. And so when she
Oh no.
showed up for costume fittings, that's when she found out. And she was like, "Oh, I don't wanna play this bitch."
Oh no. She's been in horror movies prior to that, right? She was in The Birds.
Yeah, as a kid, she was in The Birds.
Yeah, and I think a couple others. But Sigourney had only been on Broadway, I think, prior to
Yes.
Alien.
Yeah.
Look
This
at her
was
now.
her breakout role.
Mhm.
Horror, baby. It'll do that for
Love
you.
that for her. Honestly,
But it's
I love
funny too.
Sigourney.
Yeah. You love a good nepo baby. Let me tell you what. You and
Fuck, I really do. Honestly, if your parents are in movies, I love you.
Katie's a fucking fan, let me tell you.
No, this whole cast is kind of hot. Honestly,
Oh yeah.
Dallas, tap.
They
Kane,
nailed it.
tap. Ripley, tap.
Yeah. Ridley Scott actually took like a lot of time to do the casting because he said like the perfect cast can solve like 50 to 70% of any issues that the movie's gonna have.
Yep, that's true. I mean, not that I know anything about directing a movie, but
No, you heard
it
it here
sounds right.
first. It's true. We said it, so it's true. No, but I like
Uh,
the writers actually so that when they wrote all the characters, they intentionally like didn't specify anyone's gender. They only had them be called by their last names because they really wanted it to be like just cast anybody. Like whoever is best, just cast that person for the role. But the only caveat was that they didn't want Ripley to be a woman because
oh,
they wanted to avoid the like final girl trope. And I think that's funny because now Ripley's known as like one of the most iconic final girls of all time.
yep. Uh, well, Honestly,
Sorry.
fucking kudos to her, not only saving herself, but saving the cat.
Yeah.
Love that.
I mean, you'd have to though, right? Like, I'd probably go back for the cat.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Maybe.
No, I would. I'm going back for the cat.
Cats are squirrely though. Like, they're kind of hard to find. That cat seems like it had a good relationship with all of them, so it's probably a little bit easier. But like some cats,
Yeah.
if
Well,
it's
at the same time,
hiding,
they were trying to catch him for, half the movie,
yeah, that's true.
but yeah.
They used a German Shepherd to like so when Brett dies because he's trying to find Jones, and then the cat like kind of backs away and starts hissing.
And just growling?
It's
Yes.
yeah, so it's because they had like a sheet put up and a dog was behind it, and so they like had the cat come towards it and then removed the sheet so it would start like backing away and start hissing because it was like not expecting it to be,
Oh, sad.
you
I mean, I guess
know.
there's worse ways to elicit hissing out of a cat, so
Yeah, I think they were just making it defensive, not necessarily scared, but
yeah.
who's to say, you know? I don't know.
Um, what'd you like about it? I mean, I feel like that's what we've been talking about, but
Yeah, I liked a lot about
formally.
it. It's another like practical effects movie, which by now we know I love.
Yes.
You're gonna love this. They used shredded condoms to make the like tendons in the jaw of the alien, and then
Oh,
the slime, KY jelly.
okay. My sexy rating is calibrating. Interesting. Also, lots of stuff looked like cum.
It did. I'll say Ash's blood was I don't think they had to go with that color.
No, literally any other color.
Almost any other color.
I feel like green is the standard cyborg blood color.
Yeah, or just not. Why does a robot have liquid? If it was gonna have
Oil?
any liquid, it would either be oil, which would be like black, or it would be like coolant, which you'd think would be like blue.
Yeah.
So
Or clear.
yeah, like I feel like that's what I approve of. Um, as a special effects master.
Yeah.
The
You know.
alien was originally gonna be green.
Oh, I don't like that.
I know, I'm really glad that they didn't do that because I feel like it would have made it
Same.
look super cheesy,
Yeah.
but one of the writers, like, saw it in the, like, fleshy tone that it is in the movie, and they were like,
Mhm.
"Nah, that's gotta stay. That looks creepy."
Yeah. You know what was even creepier though? Like the metal teeth.
Yeah.
Not a huge fan. Yeah, no, no thanks. Even when it was little, come on.
I'm sorry, I know, like, the chest burster scene is iconic and it's fun and whatever, and, like, apparently scared the shit out of people when it came out, but I could not stop laughing when it just, like, wiggles away.
Yeah, but like it's on a motorized car or something. It just
It just
yep,
skadoodles.
same. Yep, same.
There's like actually a long-standing myth that like none of the actors knew that the chest burster scene was gonna happen, and so like all of that
Ooh.
reaction is real. That's not true. It was in the
Ah.
script. Like they knew that something was gonna pop out of his chest, but they didn't know like what it was gonna look like, and apparently they didn't know like how much blood was gonna be used for the spray. So like
Ooh, yeah.
Veronica Cartwright's when she gets like hit with that was kind of honest reaction because she did not want to get like sprayed in the face with blood. But
Yeah. I mean, that's understandable.
is it? I feel like if I was in a horror movie, I'd be like, as much blood as you can put on me, do it. That's fun. No?
I suppose.
Oh, okay. I was like, is this just a me thing? I think I don't know. That's like the point of being in a horror movie.
Well, okay. That's fair. All right. Yeah, okay. Um, Moulage.
What did you
What that's
just say to
called.
me?
Moulage.
Moulage. What's that?
Yes. You know what moulage is?
No.
Oh, our practical effects queen over here doesn't even know what moulage is. It's the makeup that makes you look hurt.
Okay, first of all, I never claimed to be an expert. I just like practical effects. I think it's neat. I'm like Marge
It is neat.
Simpson with the potato. I just think they're neat.
That reminds me of the meme that you made.
Oh, of you. I just think
Of
you're
me.
neat.
Um, this is probably something I'm not allowed to say. So, but
Okay.
I'm going to anyway.
I love that.
Yeah. Disney. I worked for Disney for a while.
Mm.
This is about Moulage. This has nothing to do with horror movies. But I guess Moulage is part of horror movies. Disney does every year or a couple times a year a active shooter drill where like 500 cast members go after park hours. It's like midnight to 4 a.m. And half of them get scripts and moulage of their injuries, and the scripts have their injuries on them. And they go and like act out an active shooter drill. And the other half of the 500 have no idea what's going to happen, no idea where the shooter's going to come from, and just have to like scurry like a guest would. And they bring in like a arms person, like a person who is like an expert at arms, to come and shoot up Disneyland. Got to do that twice.
That feels like an unethical way to do that, if I'm being honest.
I didn't say it was ethical, but it was probably one of the cooler things I've ever done.
Oh my god. That's fucking did they pay for your therapy bills afterwards? I feel like that would be traumatizing.
I don't even think they paid us for that night. Honestly, though, very traumatizing. I can't go in the room that I heard. Like he found me. The one where I was found. One of them I was found. One of them I got away. The one where I was found, he found me behind a curtain in a character. This has nothing to do with Alien. He found me behind a curtain in one of the character meet and greet areas. And he just pulls it back and he's like, "You're dead." So I got on the floor. And then he just like right next to me, shooting.
No, see, I have a fight then flight reflex. I would have throw punched that motherfucker. Like, I was right in the kisser.
Yeah.
I'm
Anyway.
sorry that happened to you.
No, I told you I enjoyed it. I thought it was very cool. Not a lot of people know about those drills. I'm probably not allowed to tell you.
Well, exclusive. You let me know if we need to cut that out after.
I'll go pull up my NDA.
Yeah. Hasn't that expired by now?
Oh yeah. No, we're fine.
Yeah. Anyway.
There was moulage. We were talking about blood, and then you were talking about makeup, horror makeup.
That's true. That's true.
Moulage.
It all comes together. It really does. Speaking of more practical effects. So Ridley Scott wanted to make it feel like really claustrophobic in the ship. And so like every day he would like push the walls a little bit closer together on set.
Oh my god.
So like over the course of filming it really did get like smaller and smaller for the cast members.
Ew.
Which I think isn't like the most traumatizing way to like get a real reaction out of your cast.
That's more subtle than maybe some of the other methods we've heard of.
Yeah, there's been worse. I'll allow it.
Yes, they've probably been fed.
Yeah.
We're allowed to sleep.
Yeah. Although apparently the suits that like John Hurt and
Kane, Ripley, and Lambert.
Yes. Yes.
I don't remember.
Yes,
But yeah,
it
at
was
the beginning.
It was Kane, Dallas, and Lambert when they like went out on the expedition.
Yes. Yeah.
What they were all wearing, apparently it was like super hot and they kept like passing out. Like it became an issue where they had to like have a nurse on standby the whole time. And they were like, "It's gonna be fine." And John Hurt was like, "I don't think it's gonna be fine, man." So maybe not the most. You know what? I rescind it. I rescind my allowing it. It feels like maybe there were
It
still some not great filming practices.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Still not the worst that we've explored so far, though.
Yeah, no, not the worst. They didn't starve anybody.
True. True.
They tried to do like mainly close-ups of the alien because
Mhm.
they were like, we don't want you to see a full body because it kind of takes away from it. Like they were like, we really just don't want this to look like a guy in a suit.
Yeah.
Which I think that was smart. But then at the end, when you see the full body shot, it's like unmistakably a guy in a suit.
A guy in a suit. Yep. Very much so. So like they were right to think that it was gonna look like a guy in a suit.
They nailed it until the very ending shot where he's like flapping outside of the spaceship. I'm kind of like, that poor man. It's
Yeah.
just he's out there.
Explain something to me.
I will, maybe.
Where's I thought I was gonna see Predator.
No.
Okay. Why did I think that?
Well, there was a very famous crossover that's had quite a few movies in the crossover of Alien versus Predator.
Okay.
Predator has its own movie series, and then they came together.
Got it.
It's like
Is Predator an alien?
yeah, I think so. But it's like Freddy versus Jason. Two
Oh,
separate
Freddy.
franchises coming together,
Got it. Okay. Okay.
not
For some
in the same movie.
Okay. For some reason I thought that Predator was like a part of the Alien universe and like Alien versus Predator was a sequel to Alien. So I was expecting more than one kind of monster.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. Like, they are technically a part of the same universe. They do have that crossover. But it's not until later. Both of the franchises,
Got
I
it.
think, were kind of established before that ever happened.
Got it. Okay. There's a lot of these movies.
There is. There it actually so it wasn't supposed to be such an open-ended ending. Well, okay, so originally the ending was it was just gonna end when Ripley blew up the ship. And it's gonna be implied that like the alien died there, right?
Okay.
And then Ridley Scott was like, no, that's not good enough. We need to have like a fourth act where it comes back and there's a final standoff.
Okay.
And he's gonna rip her head off and she's gonna die.
Love that.
So that was the next ending. And then they were like, let's maybe have a lighter note for the ending.
Yeah,
So
okay.
they have Ripley defeat it and live on for the
Snuggle the
sequel.
cat.
Aliens. Yeah, with Jones the cat, obviously.
Um Alien, this is a fun tidbit. Alien and Aliens are only 29 seconds different in length.
Wow. That is fun. I think honestly, Aliens is very good too.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I'll watch it.
Like honestly, I think most of the time they're rated almost like the same. Maybe Aliens is like a little bit lower, but it's a solid sequel.
Cool.
I
Love that.
feel like
Not a lot of
I
those.
sounded so weird when I said that. It's a solid sequel. So-
Well, yeah.
um,
Anyway.
let's move on. How
I don't even know.
scary did you think it was?
Wait, we didn't talk about what we didn't like.
Oh yeah, sorry. What didn't you like?
Thank you. I felt like so I don't have a lot to say, but I do have something to say. I felt like a lot of horror movies are very overacted. I kind of had the opposite reaction this one. I kind of felt like it was too like casual and maybe even a little like underacted. Like especially towards the beginning when they're just kind of, oh, we hear a signal, like, oh, let's ask mother what it is. Like it was just kind of like, kind of casual.
Well, I mean, I feel like at the beginning, like they didn't have any reason to like question it. Like they say even that that's their protocol. Like you have, if you hear a distress signal, you have to go check it out. So I think it was
Yeah,
just
but
kind of like, here we go. Like that's why she woke us up. Like she, like, I don't know, mother, whatever. The ship woke
Yeah.
us up. That's why, like, we gotta go do it. It's work.
I guess. Yeah. I don't know. It just was like I don't mean they needed to be like freaking out about anything. I just mean like they weren't very animated. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It just didn't feel like honestly, it didn't maybe this is good. It didn't feel like acting. It felt like friends sitting on a spaceship shooting the shit is what it felt like. So maybe that's actually a good thing. It was just different than what we've seen before
Yeah.
in previous movies.
No, I would agree. It's not like typically the type of performance that you see in a horror movie. I didn't mind it though. Like I kind of felt like a lot of the times it's kind of an exaggerated version of like how people would react in a situation, and I feel like I could
Yeah.
almost see myself reacting more like they did. Cuz like I'll explain away
Okay.
anything before I admit that like an alien's going to burst out of my chest. Like I'm I'm
Yeah.
vibing. So yeah, I don't
Uh,
know.
yeah. Did you not like anything? That was literally the only comment I had.
Um yeah, I mean this is a solid fucking movie. Let's be honest. It's good. It's great. But I think yeah, like it is a little bit dated, like, some of the special effects don't really translate as much anymore, so, it's not super scary to me, I think a lot of the things that had a huge effect on the audience when it was released, not so much on me anymore,
Yeah.
so yeah, I think that's my only thing that is just not it's not super scary.
Yeah. No, I agree. Before we talk about that,
Yeah.
formally though, I will say that the cyborg with his head off, Ash's head on the table talking,
Mhm.
had like thing vibes. Very, you know, not great. But I feel like the alien itself, the xenomorph, was like very ahead of its time. I was not disappointed by it at all.
Just a dude in a suit?
Well, until that
No,
part.
I'm kidding. No, but I know what you mean. Yeah, I feel like there were a lot of effects that were great, but
Yeah.
then like some of it kind of was like you
Yeah.
remember that it's a movie that was made in the 70s. Like I to this day I'm like the chestburster scene is sick. Like that's
Oh,
still
well,
cool as hell. The alien
yeah.
skedaddling away was a little bit much for me personally, but like the actual scene of it explode. I mean, that holds up.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. But no, I the one thing that like kept running through my head is like the textures that they were able to create, which
Yeah.
were not all comfy. I
No.
didn't enjoy looking at all of the textures, but there were a lot of them.
So, yeah, because they used I mean, CGI wasn't really, like, a thing as we know it today back
Yeah.
then, for them to even utilize, but, yeah, like, when they do, like, the autopsy on the face hugger and stuff, that was,
Yeah.
like, muscles, it was, like, seafood, and then, like, I think some,
Mm.
like, animal parts, so they used a lot of animal parts, which apparently made the set smell really bad, but
Ew.
not, like, the cutest thing to work with, but it was effective, it looked sick, like
Yeah. It was pretty cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
They almost used milk for, like, Ash's blood, but they couldn't because it was just gonna, like, spoil under the lights and stuff, so they were like, "That's too gross, we can't do"
So they used cum instead?
No, hey.
Well, I mean, what was the alternative wasn't much better than spoiled milk. I mean, whatever they used.
I shouldn't claim it's not cum, I don't know what they used,
You
so
weren't there.
I wasn't there. I wasn't even alive. I don't know.
I mean, if the parodies are true to life.
I mm, I don't think they
Anyway.
are.
Okay, now ask me how scary I thought it was.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
How scared did you think it was, Katie?
I didn't. Not even a little bit. Well,
Yeah,
1.5 maybe, because there were
okay.
some jumpies.
Okay. Yeah, I gave it a
I had
1.
like, okay, yeah,
But yeah, they had,
I
like,
checked it out.
it jumped out at you a few times.
Yeah. I gave it a 0.5 because there were a couple times where I like turned down the volume because I knew something was gonna jump back.
That's fair, that's fair. Yeah, I think, me, like every person who maybe didn't see it in theaters, knew that like the chestburster thing was a thing. So
Yeah.
it just didn't have the same effect on me as it probably did that to the audience, but at the
Yeah,
time.
same.
But yeah, I mean, it's really hard to kind of not know about that
Yeah.
before you watch it. It's
Yeah.
iconic.
The other thing, and I think this is why I brought up um, where all of my knowledge from Alien came from, is because like had I not had that knowledge and like known what everything was going to look like, and then it might have been a little bit more scary. But I mean, there's just something inherently horny about that now. So
For you, let's
yes, yeah. To clarify. Anyway.
Well, I feel like our answers on how sexy it is are going to be a little different.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you give it? You first.
I gave it a 1.5. I know,
Excuse me?
I'm sorry. It does not do what it does for you for me. I think like the alien concept is like kind of sexy and Ripley is sexy, but like overall not so much. It was
The
supposed to be a
whole
lot
cast,
sexier.
the whole cast is sexy.
It is, but it's not enough for it to like the alien was supposed like originally it was gonna like spy on people having sex and like while Ripley got undressed and shit like that. It was supposed to be a lot more sexual than it ended up being. You would have loved it.
I did love it. So yeah. Well, I gave it a 4.5.
Least surprising thing I've heard all day.
Yeah, yeah. And I didn't give it a 5 because I felt like there wasn't enough tentacles. There could have been more.
Yeah.
That was really it.
I'm sorry for your loss.
It's okay. I've got plenty of parodies. The internet has solved that for me.
That's true. If there's a problem,
That's a good one
I
to
was
have.
gonna say Pornhub will solve it, but that's not true at all. So
No. No.
it's almost not true, even a little bit. Great. How fucked up did you think it was?
1.5.
Okay, okay. What's the half going towards?
The chest burster scene.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, I don't like the cracking noises.
Mm,
Sounds would be really uncomfortable to have that happen to you.
yeah.
And I don't know that has ever happened in like at least as iconically in any other movie. Like I don't think that people recreate that happening, things popping out of people's chests because like, oh, you're just copying Alien,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I mean, I can't really think of I know, so like uh, well, obviously the sequels, but then like Ridley Scott also did Prometheus, which I think is like in the same universe. And so it
Yes.
does happen in that movie, but I think because it's still technically related to the Alien series, it like
Yeah.
doesn't count.
So
But
it's a Ridley Scott thing.
yeah, for this movie series, I guess. I don't know of any other movies he's done that in outside of this series, but director trademark, you know?
Well, you gotta have one.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Wait, what
Well,
would your director trademark be?
ooh,
You can think about it. We can
yeah,
revisit this.
yeah. Maybe we follow up on social media with that,
Oh, yeah.
or next week.
Yeah, or both. ¿Por
I
qué no
really
los
gotta think.
dos, you know? Uh,
Do you know yours?
no. I just thought about, like, asking you, and then I started thinking about what I would do for me because I assumed you would ask me after I asked you, but then I got nervous.
Most of the time, I forget to ask you after you ask me.
That's true, but I just say it. I'll just be
That's
like,
true.
"So I do this."
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Because I love talking. Anyways, since you're not gonna ask me, I would rate it a 1 out of
Okay. 1.5 also?
No, 1. 1 out of 5 for
Oh,
fucked
just
up.
one?
I don't think the chest
Oh.
burster is that, but like the bones thing doesn't get to me like it gets to you. So yeah, I don't know. In terms of horror overall, I think it was pretty mild.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. Very mild.
Yeah.
Didn't bother me that much. I don't even think I. Oh yeah, I did. Just kidding. I was gonna say I don't even think I looked up. I wasn't worried about it. I don't even think I looked up. Does the dog die? But the second there was a cat, I was on the screen. I was like, I'm just gonna check these real quick.
You gotta know if Jones lives. That's
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Um.
And he does. Woo!
Woo! Um. That's all the categories. Wow.
No, it's not.
No. Oh, overall.
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 Um. Overall. I went first last time, so it's your turn.
Sure. I gave it a solid 4 out of 5.
Amazing.
Yeah, I think
Amazing.
this is an excellent movie. It's super fun. It's a classic. It holds up. Um,
Mm,
yeah. Big fan.
Same. Same.
Same rating? Oh,
No, actually, I gave it a 4.5.
fair. I was actually debating between those two. I went with a 4.
Yeah. Makes sense for me to rate it a little higher. I enjoyed it more.
Yeah, this was definitely an awakening for you. Well, maybe not an
Uh,
awakening,
well,
just a reiteration.
confirmation.
Yeah,
Yeah, validation.
exactly.
uh, yeah. But no, to your point, um, like mostly good practical effects, like creative practical effects for the most part. I feel like it was ahead of its time. Yeah, great movie. Sigourney Weaver, can't go wrong.
True.
Sigourney Weaver and Aliens, really can't go wrong.
Double trouble.
Man, we are really cracking the formulas of these movies.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we got to get a cold movie up in here soon. Gotta be cold.
what's, what's our next movie?
The others, which I'm gonna have you explain what you think it's about, but only after we ask the final question, which is,
Yes,
would you survive?
Would I survive? I mean, I feel like I would have made a lot of the same decisions that Sigourney Weaver's character made.
Okay.
Like I definitely would have gone back for the cat. Um, I would have sang myself a little song when I was scared. Lots of similarities, I think. So honestly, I think I might have gotten out of there.
All right. It's actually kind of funny you mentioned that because the producers were really mad that they like sang that song at the end because apparently the rights to the song were like super expensive.
Oh no.
But it was Sigourney's idea to sing that she would have like a little mantra to help her like get through it.
Yeah, I liked
Yeah.
it. Felt more human.
Yeah. Well, great. I also said yes, I will survive. I would
Really?
have been in the shuttle and gone immediately. Like, oh, it doesn't fit 4 crew members. I don't need it to. I need it to fit me. Hasta la vista.
Okay.
I'm fucking out of there. Bye bye. I'm not hunting down an alien that just bursts out of someone's fucking chest. Are you fucking me right now? No. I am gone.
Yeah. Not to save your coworkers, you're not.
Okay. Don't some of our coworkers watch this? If you're a coworker who's listening to this, of course I would stay.
I wouldn't.
No, I'm gone. Sorry.
Yeah.
I gotta go. I got a blast. You know, I gotta get out of there.
That's one of my favorite things is just how you both approach this question is very different.
You're
Like
like,
I put
yeah,
myself
I'm
in the main
smart.
character situation, like
I put myself in Lambert's position, but smarter. Where they're like, oh, It doesn't fit 4 people. And she's like, oh, okay, I'll help you hunt it down. No. I turn around, I get in the shuttle. Goodbye. I
Yeah.
won't like activate the self-destruct. That'd be mean. But I'm leaving. And you can be on that shuttle with me or not.
Yeah.
I'm working on
Well,
being kinder. I'll get there eventually.
oh my god.
Just kidding. That's not a situation in which you be kind. That's a situation in which you save your fucking ass.
Yeah. Funny though, because you literally just said that you're a fight over flight kind of girl. But you're
No.
fleeing.
No. I said I'm a fight then flight girl.
But you said you wouldn't even fight the alien. You're not fighting the alien, you're just leaving.
Well, it's not in front of me at that time. Like at the time that they were like, let's go, the alien wasn't right there. As soon as it bursts out of its chest, like you think I'm not throwing hands immediately? Because I am. Start saucing
True.
it.
Yeah, fuck you, Ash. I'm killing it.
Yeah, I'm just, again, I'm not listening to Ash.
Yeah, no.
Ever.
Mm. Mm.
Okay, great. So next week, we're going to be talking about The Others, which is actually, it was a suggestion to us to cut.
Okay, roll it back.
Take 2. It was suggested to us to cover that movie.
Yes.
So yeah, we're gonna do it. Katie, how much do you know about this movie?
I think I've seen the cover.
Great. That's a
Of the
great
DVD.
start. All right, I need you to tell me exactly what The Others is about. If you could like make up character names, because I really enjoyed you fully believing that Brad and Chad was in Scream.
Okay. Okay. The Others is about a husband and wife that live in a cabin by a hill, and their names are probably like Cheryl and David, I assume.
Correct.
Thank you. So they live on a house kind of by a hill, and they start finding things on their property, and they live really far away from a lot of people.
Yeah.
So they start finding things on their property, and they come to find out that it is these like I'm trying to think of a word that's PC.
Oh.
Okay, kind of like barbarian.
Okay.
Those that kind of people.
Okay, like kind of
Um,
like cave creatures ish. Like humans that
okay,
have like adapted to cave life.
adapted
Is that what
to,
you're thinking of?
to like outdoor life. Yeah.
Got it.
Out,
Okay. So like feral.
yes.
Got it.
They're the others. And they kill Cheryl and David.
Okay. No survivors. The others win. That's how it ends.
No survivors. Yes.
Okay.
No, there's a kid. There's a kid. There's a kid, right? There's a kid
You tell
in the
me.
movie?
Is there a kid?
No, there's
Katie?
yes. There's a kid in the
Okay.
movie, and the kid is taken by the others.
Oh, okay. It's a bleak one then, huh? Bleak ending?
Yeah. I mean, the kid survives.
Oh, okay. But it's just taken. New parents.
Yes.
Okay. Wow. No
What?
notes. No notes at all. That's perfect. Yeah. That's what
Thank
it's
you.
about.
Good. I'm glad. I'm glad we had this conversation.
Great. Not even close, but well, you know what? Everybody can join us next week. And you can find out what The Others is actually about if you haven't already seen it.
I'm excited
Me too. I'm excited for you.
for it to not be anything about that.
Yeah, for you to find out, who or what The Others actually is.
Or what? What do you mean?
I don't know, you know.
Okay.
Does it have to be a who? I'm asking. I'm not saying. I'm just, you know. I'm keeping it vague so that I don't give hints away, you know.
I mean, yeah, it does.
You're adamant it has to be a who.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. Anyway, until next week.
Until next week.
All right, well, that wraps it up for today. If there are any movies you'd like to hear us talk about, please let us know in the comments or shoot us a DM on our socials.
Thanks so much for listening, and we hope to see you next week when we talk about the 2001 horror thriller film, The Others. See you then.